additional laws. Questionnaire and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Jew Ali. Grand sheikhs and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Jew Ali before acting upon by any member, let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the member to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under a heavy restriction by the Prophet or the Grand Sheikh. Act 2. All members are to attend their adept meetings and public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second will be fined $1, which will go in your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. If he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is the lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able to finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while up making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school and teach, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school come the guiders of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of this said government. They know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and last until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national names to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Jew Ali the Prophet to redeem his people from the sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are descendants of the ancient Moabites, who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds cool with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant from the Holy Prophet Noble Jew Ali through the guidance of his Father God Allah.
Or have the jurisdiction of the city. And the sheiks branch out like aldermen, because that's what an alderman is, throughout the different districts of the city. But these are the different avenues in which we are to maneuver as the Moorish Divine National Movement and Moorish America. We're just talking about religion, which is just one point at the very bottom of the section of systems, which is a system, is not sufficient considering all the other stuff that's on the board. So y'all need to get some paper, or y'all got the pictures, y'all, technology now, you can take a picture, a snapshot. But I need everybody to get a copy of this. This is it. Foundation, Schools of Science and Research. Research, what kind of science? Social science, political science, industrial science, economic science, religious science, all the sciences, but improvements on the finding out the true facts, not just going on years of mystery and skepticism and, hypothesis. No, we're going to find out the facts and figure out the solution. Clinics, once we find out the facts, we institute and apply the solutions to the people, because the people are mentally sick. We know that. They're physically sick, all kinds of sick. So you institute clinics and hospitals. Once they're sick, and you know that the stuff, once they're healed and you know that the stuff works, now you can institute scholarships to teach these methods of healing, these new methods. And once you have these teaching methods and these people who've got these instructions, you have a library of information. It's just a basic structure that we watch PBS a lot. So when we watch PBS, a lot of these foundations and stuff are funding these different shows on PBS and associations and trusts and all this stuff in the States. This is what we need. This is what they're funding. This is why they're funding the shows on PBS and stuff like that, so that they can accomplish this, so that they can make society better. This is what we're working on. Field agriculture, metal and stone, banking, food and beverage, textiles, green tech, telecommunication, computer, athletic, war, which is the competitive fields. And then you have the conglomerative fields, which is cooperative.
No, who?
Conglomerative. You have the athletic, war, which is competitive.
No, the
Conglomerate. When they all join together, they form co-ops. You know, co-ops is seen to be demonized. Well, co-ops aren't demonized. People think that it was being good, but conglomerates are demonized. Well, they're actually one and the same. One is grassroots and one is above ground. One is corporate. So we explaining that so that people can understand what type of industries that we're in, so that we can truly understand what we have to offer to the world. We have people that are in agriculture. We have people who deal with metals and stones, banking, food and beverage, textiles, green technology. People say, well, we don't have Moors doing that. The African American is a Moor. So we're going to stop sitting up here trying to divide ourselves between these two different groups of people. We're not doing that. They don't know their nationality. We know that what their nationality really is. We know Africa's an empire and a continent, and so is America. So they teaching their nationality. But we do have people in these fields, and all of them all of these fields of industry are based on insurance, real estate, forex, which is foreign exchange, and commodities. That's just what it is. That's what these are based on. And when we get into these different fields down here, that's when you start to make the money, because you can rent your field and produce agriculture. You can rent a mine, you know, but when you own it, then that's something different. So that's what we get into. The post positions, it's the Moorish Industries and Trade posts. So what are the positions? Senators, congressmen, assemblymen, aldermen, judges, lawyers, officials, clerks, artisans, merchants, and laborers. These are the people we want to get into the temple. If they're not at least laborers, they don't have any place in here. I know that may sound crazy, but we need to get things for those people who have nothing to do, not get people who don't have anything to do. You understand? We're making programs for those people who need something, but we need people who are qualified and have the understanding to make the programs, not just the people who say we need, and we have nobody who can actually fulfill those needs. So these are the reason why, and the reason why we want the senators and the political people, the law people, and the crafts people is just simple. The crafts people need these people to protect them from these people. That's just the simple facts. The people who work and doing the labor, who doing what needs to be done, they need the lawyers to protect them from the senators, the judges, the congressmen, the policy. When policy is changed, you need these lawyers and other people to protect those people who are actually doing the business. And so those are the positions that we need so that we can secure ourselves on every level. That's what's the problem. Education and wages. We talked about it last week. More science is medicine, science, engineering, financial analysts. You got apprenticeship, craftsmanship, mastership, scholarship, and dictatorship. Now, a lot of people don't understand that process. Because of that, every time we actually have somebody who make it to this level, they kill them. Straight out. I'm just telling the truth. You have people who are scholars. We're under a scholarship. Sheikh Danifa was a scholar. But we're trying to make it to where we have somebody who rules and know the law so much when they speak, it's dictated. Fatwas. Islam is called fatwas. It's like the law. When they speak, it's the law. We don't like that. We've been taught, oh no, the generality of me and the prophet teach us is ignorant. And we know that to be a fact. Most of the people ignore the facts, they ignore the truth, they ignore what really supposed to go on, they just do what they want to do. But somebody's supposed to be so scholarly that they know everything that there is to know about the issue, that they can make a decision and speak on that decision. That's what we're trying to get to. Somebody needs to get to that level. And then you got the building plans, government complex, civic center, community, entertainment, educational parks, and utility services. All this was put together by Garvey and Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And at the bottom it says, this is our jihad, struggle, and what we are striving to establish. Learn it or leave it. This is Islamism. Simple. And it's the city of salvation, because the Prophet was trying to build a city. Garvey was trying to build a city in Liberia. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali was trying to build a city on the south side of Chicago. We are trying to change Los Angeles into that city. It's the city of angels anyway. And since we are the angels, we are doing our best to accomplish this mission here in Los Angeles. So we want the Moors to know what we're working towards, what we're working on, and where they may see themselves to fit in. Pick a spot. It's open. When the prophet said there's field open, this field is open to all strong men and women, and it's open, you see it's open. Because as you know, we don't really have anybody to fill most of these positions right now. Right now, in here. So we need to go get our people who can fill these positions. We don't care if they're friends. We care can they fill these positions. We'll teach them the doctrine later on, but we need to get them to be qualified to fill these positions, because that's what the problem is. We're trying to get people the doctrine before, and then hopefully they'll be willing to take up the positions, and that's not what we need to do. We need to get people who can fill the positions and teach them the doctrine as they go along. That's what we need to be looking into, because we are the core, so we are the team. So each individual will have to take up the responsibility of being a department within themselves and forming up, or families can form up their department, but we are the team right now, and then we have to build from there.
It was just an idea that
I agree.
we can start approaching, young scholars who are graduating.
Graduates, yeah.
Yeah.
Or before they graduate, while they in school to do internships. I understand that. I agree.
My son and his IEPs in different situations, I come across people who don't have a clue as to how to even begin to help even just their own family.
Right.
And so when they see me, it's like, how did you get to know this? Or how did you, because I had to learn it for myself, but they're simply, they want to help or they want to do something, but they don't know how.
So you just want to expose them to the information, and the more they ask you, how did you do this and how did you know that, then that's where you bring in, where you get the information, how you,
okay.
Other than that, you just want to see them do good.
Just an example conversation, at the last IEP, there's a brother who's fighting for his son, because I went through that IEP with them like a fine-tooth comb. Do you understand what I'm saying? And this brother was looking at me like, how do you manipulate this? I said, you just gotta know. And he says, I'm trying to do that for my son. Well, if you do it for your son, I can help you, and then you can help, your friend who's fighting. And so how do I approach him like him, per se? Do I continue to tell him, have you won and have you helped somebody else? Yeah. Do I do it like that? Yeah. So like a regular conversation, not just...
It's just general. It's just general conversation. There's nothing that you're trying to push. You're just trying to... Right.
And it came out like that.
Exactly.
So then I build up my tempo here. That's how I do it.
Right.
In regular conversation, I build up my tempo when they ask. Got it.
No, please, no. Give us all that energy, because that prompts thought on what Brother Jamil said, Brother Lewis. It's hard for me to say Lewis. My apologies. Exactly. In regards to the post itself, and because I can hear the questions now coming from the average person. What's our goal? To build the city of salvation. The post that Brother Jamil spoke about in terms of, post means a position.
Right.
How are we generally going to answer that question without giving too much? You're already working in your position. All we want you to do is be a part of it. Since they're already working in it, all we want them to do is be a part of the network so that we can bring them business and that we can circulate the business to other people who need the services. So, being part of the network, they will register on the website. And in terms of business plans and proposals, in terms of that upload, and to question the webmaster, was he able to implement the non-disclosure agreement that I had to talk to you about it, because I didn't even get a chance to see it. Okay. But he did send it to me and let me know that he was sending it to me. Yeah, they're going to need to be made comfortable if they're going to expose their projects or business plans and on that level. And because I know we had talked about
on that.
Yeah, that's what it was supposed to be.
The email's on the website. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, if they sending it to the email, it's secure because nobody can access your email but you supposedly, right?
You need a
So
specific.
what they saying, I think we,
Email like we would in business. We wouldn't post that on a website.
yeah, that's what he said he was letting us know. They have the business plan and everything else, and then he'll send that to the email. It's all email. But he doing all that. The webmaster, he been in business, doing business like that for about 10 years. He came out of Atlanta and came home to Shreveport. He's qualified. But yeah, we did talk about it. We did discuss it so that it can be secure for the people.
Now, Islam, just to finish up real quick, today and pretty much every day, if you guys notice, I've been advertising the Moorish Industries and Trade Post on Facebook and whatever medium I can get a hold of.
Yeah,
So I'm only going to go as far as the orders.
yeah, go as far as needed.
No, well,
And advertisement.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying certain information cannot be disseminated just yet, obviously.
Right.
So I'm keeping it real general. I'm not offering the moon to folks. We know where it's going to go eventually in terms of
I've been observing, and I think it's fine how you doing it.
just keep.
The name your mother gave you, the first one, and the name that your mother gave you, the last one, look up the meaning of it, because I discovered yesterday the meanings of my name, and that's exactly the position I have here at the trade post. So that will help you to see where you fit in on that board naturally.
I have no meaning for my name.
Yeah,
You good. You good.
I looked up my name, Zon. I like that it's different.
Doggone, that goes with that.
See how it's coded? It's coded because that's what they do. Those who are too uncontrollable to be in the athletic program,
End up in the
they
military.
end up in the military program. So
Good
it's
grief.
athletic war. That's just what it is. It's athletic
Either
war.
or, yeah.
Brilliant.
And war can mean
Warrior scholar. Student athlete. See how you start out as a student athlete, you become a warrior scholar, hopefully.
Well, this is the whole thing we just set up with the Golden Dragon Martial Arts Academy. It's perfect.
There you go.
It fits brilliantly.
There you go.
And with all the energy from all these youth out
Yeah,
there,
kid.
they got all that energy,
Right.
and a lot of them have like pent up.
So we can struggle real hard and strive to be. But this, I really need people to understand, because all of this is based around this. Lawyers, everybody, you got the paralegal, you got the lawyer, then they become a judge, possibly, and then they go up to be a politician. It's just the way it goes. Paralegal is an apprentice. Lawyer practice the craft. A judge is a master. And you got these, what they call them, the district judge is kind of like the judge of the state. You got the supreme judge, Supreme Court are dictators. They dictate what it is. Oh no, that's what it is. We can say what you want to, but that's what they're doing. Oh no, that's not law. It's not law. I said it's not law. And when they sit down and say it's not law, it's not law. And when the president put an executive order in place, that's an executive dictation. So we got to really understand what's going on and stop seeing it for what people propagandize it as. It's what it really is. And because we stopped most of us stop at mastership. We don't really have no scholars. And when we do have scholars, we don't really honor them or nothing, and then they die poor and broke like Dr. Ben. I'm just being honest.
It's not. All these categories still revolve or fit in within the Islamic structure. So you gotta have.
This is Islamism. That's why it's there.
Islam. You gotta have the moral compass in order to execute any one of these things from a beneficial perspective for all, not a selfish thing. That's what's been.
Before you can do any of these, you got to go through the whole system, 12-step ladder of the Prophet Ali. He said science and religion, right? It's the last demonstration. I see your hand, Islam sister.
Islam, so aren't we? That's where we are. All the sciences, the systems, the political system, social system. Even though we Moors are being blocked out, we're still operating in the same
I agree.
system.
But for whose benefit?
It was already set up,
I agree. But for whose benefit?
right, for the European.
Right.
So now my question becomes, how do we make that leap?
We,
For the benefit of this temple, just this temple, just us here. how do we close the gap? How do we get these people that we need?
Get the work. What I mean by get the work is get an understanding first. Get an understanding of what to go out to do. We've been told, honestly, to go out and do the wrong things in the more science of America.
The planning phase.
Okay.
So Friday, we had a very great meeting because we had the how-to steps presented, and I was
Okay.
hoping we could kind of give an overview of that, you know,
You got the paperwork? I don't have the paperwork. Okay.
and that way we can kind of give the ladies kind of go, because I know my wife asks a lot of questions, and I want her to feel a part of this as well as I know you do, and it'll kind of explain what this is.
Because I was just trying to figure out how do we
Presented
get
that
from there?
Friday, that was her answer.
That's my answer.
Yeah.
It's 15
That should have been
pages, so
taped.
I did not.
Have to accept the responsibility to change the condition. So that's the difference. When we ask them to come on board and be a part of the network, we ask them to accept the responsibility to change the condition. That's first thing. So like we say you in the church, they ask you to come aboard and get baptized. You baptized into the kingdom. We ask you to get baptized into the kingdom too, but the real kingdom, like citizenship.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Like we asking you to. It says this: we baptize into the nation. We die to the Uncle Tom life. We asking people to die to the Uncle Tom life, not just die to sin. Like they trying to know what's sin. Sin is Uncle Tommy. They make it seem like sin is something else. They give you all kind of stuff and say it's sin. Sin is Uncle Tommy. When we understand the great sin, we understand the greatest sin is not being in our own nature. Not doing what we're supposed to do as a people. That's the greatest sin. That's what makes all other sins fall in place. So the greatest sin for us is Uncle Tommy. So when we proclaim, when you join up with the network,
Please explain.
Uncle Tom is, you know who Uncle Tom is for real? Uncle Tom is those people who want a position as opposed to getting us off the plantation.
Okay.
So when you come in to the network, you're saying that you're giving up your Uncle Tomism.
Well, Islam, just a quick question regarding the membership drive itself, because I know we discussed that Friday. That sounds different or of a different approach than the actual network. Can you be specific in your illustration on how we're going to go about the membership drive? What are we driving for members for specifically?
Members are part of the network. It's a fee. It's what you mean for the drive itself?
To become a member of the network specifically. Because we weren't clear about that.
It can be, but it don't necessarily have to be. You make money with us and we make money with you. Now, the tax is when you come into the temple. That's the difference.
That's right. I just want to be clear.
But they not necessarily have to be a part of the temple.
Say it again.
They don't necessarily have to be a part of it.
No,
They
we're
just
speaking
have to be a
strictly
part
of
of
Moorish
business.
Industries and Trade
Yeah.
Posts right now.
And then they workers in that. Now, if you want to rise up to be an official in the Moorish Industries and Trade Posts, you gotta go through the Moorish Science Simple America. That's the training school.
Islam.
But just to be a worker and do business and make money with us, no.
I just want to be clear on whether we're charging for membership, because I'll market this yesterday.
No.
You know, so
Now, right
that's
now,
just how
I
do it.
mean, in the membership rally, we get members to get an understanding of the position that we take.
So right now,
Not so much charging the money for you. Membership is what we was having
No,
a membership rally.
that's not it.
Oh, that wasn't it?
No, I wasn't, because we talked about strictly Moorish Industry and Trade Post membership drive Friday. I wanted to be clear whether it was membership for the network, which is what the Moorish Industries and Trade Post is. I need to know clear marching orders.
Yeah, because you can't,
Clear
I mean,
definition.
on the app, to sign up. So it wouldn't be a charge to be a part of it. I mean, we're in that.
We know about the taxes, I believe we
So
should.
basically, it's a network and not a charge for a membership.
Right. Okay.
Where we are.
What we was talking about on Friday was, Marie, it said, we baptize into the nation. We die into the Uncle Tom life. We die to the old identification with white people. To be baptized into a black church must symbolize a complete rejection of the values of hostile white world and a complete commitment to the struggle of black people. When we take the sacrament of Holy Communion, it symbolizes our total rededication to personal participation in the struggle of black people and total rededication to the black nation. The sacraments and ritual of the church then become for black people an intrinsic part of the revolutionary struggle. What this is a book, copies of a book I have called Black Christian Nationalists. In 1968 or 65 or something like that, a brother came up with this program to teach the churches on how to make them more revolutionary. He called it Christian nationalism. He wrote the book, The Black Messiah. If you go into a church today and it has a black Messiah or a black Jesus, it is because of him. But you will see the black Jesus, but you don't know that there's a program that's supposed to be in the church that shows that black Jesus. This is the program. So when you go into a church and this one has a black Jesus, they're supposed to be baptizing you into the revolution, not baptizing you into some crap. But we know that that's otherwise. So what I went over Friday was his program, how he saw the church, and like, okay, baptism symbolizes dying on Uncle Tom ways is coming into a new birth of understanding and commitment. It is to say, in all honesty, I died to the old way. I will not be an Uncle Tom again. I will try not to be an individualist again. We say that we will try. We say that we will try because niggardization and individualization are hard to stamp out, to put our arms around black people everywhere and not worry about self anymore. We know that. We can see and understand that individualism has been corrupting our lives, and that when we go astray. Ours is a different kind of baptism. We rise in newness of life, committed to a revolutionary struggle for the liberation of black people. So when we come in here, or when we, like I said, when we ask them to accept the network, that's what we ask them to accept. Accept that you need to do something for your people and you're going to make a revolutionary change.
Okay, because I have, we have the black Jesus, the black Moses and stuff, and we would laugh at that because we're like, are you guys serious? You really think, but I understand what you're saying. The picture is there, but they're not teaching that. They don't know to teach that.
Yeah,
it's just that every race or nation wants the Savior to look like them.
Right.
So you go to an Asian church, most
Right.
likely the Jesus is going to look like an Asian,
Right.
and that's just how it is. So, coming from the standpoint of we're trying to better the conditions of the black man or the African American. You could go to, I'm sure there are many pastors and preachers I could go to on that level.
I know.
But when I go to them and tell them, listen, what you're doing is not it, and Jesus ain't, and this, that,
That's not the approach.
or even to say, the terminology that you've used to say the true sin. And sinning in Christianity is fornication, adultery. And you're not going to tell me that sinning is because I'm not following the practices of my ancient forefathers. They're not going to accept that.
But it's in the Bible.
But they're not going to accept that. Because all the things that Jesus said, they don't.
They don't go by that.
When I started to realize that what Jesus said, then that's what started pulling me back.
Me too.
But just being right there when it's, Jesus said, then you just keep on going. Jesus said it, but you just keep on going. But when you really realize what it was that he actually said, then you'll actually, you'll pull away from it. But I know right now I can go and I can say, listen, this movement that I'm in, or I can say something like that. But I'm talking about what I can do personally with individuals that I know, and I can say we need to come together to better the conditions of the black man or the African American.
Right.
They'll help.
Without saying this movement I'm in. When you say this
No, but
movement
I'm
I'm
saying-
in, you're an Islamic
The ones that
person.
I know on a personal level, I have family members that I could go on that level, or people that I've grown up with. I could go to on that level and say, let's come together to do this.
Yes.
And they'll do that. But if I come and read that your sin is that you're doing this and they're not going to
No, we're not going to talk about that. That's just for y'all to understand.
Yeah, we wouldn't say that. That's
You
what
have to know how, like, to glory, but a ticket to hard work, struggle, sacrifice, and danger.
Exactly.
So, this is what it is. But they say, oh, no, that's not. Well, that's what happened with Jesus. So you following Jesus and you saying you Christ-like and you Christian, you doing what Jesus did, then you talking about hard work, struggle, sacrifice, and danger. And I know you can't say that to
The
them.
devil made me do it, or Jesus saved me from it. It's not nothing I did.
But
He said the devil made me do it and Jesus saved me from it. Wow, that's...
But you know what? Also, too, that for you to know, not for you to say. The part for you to say it's strictly about business, and you'll get to that.
And what's comical about the whole bit, and say, hey, look, what's the author's name of the Black Messiah?
Outward cleavage.
So some of them will know the work.
They know him.
That's how you segue into it.
They know
He
him.
wrote.
Do they celebrate Kwanzaa in your church? No, at all. They celebrate Black History Month. They know it.
That's the segue.
They know it. It's not something that we made up. James Cone wrote it. It's put out in the season 7. This is old. Second, we're developing a new program of education and evangelism. The Sunday morning service of worship must be relegated to a functional position of secondary importance in the church program. The gospel of black liberation must be taken to the people. The Sunday service is a festival of liberation for those who are otherwise engaged in the struggle, a celebration. The burden of teaching is placed upon the church school, which is reorganized as a school of black studies and an audio-visual informational training center with regular weekly classes, lectures, and seminars. Now, some churches have done this, but they're not teaching the revolutionary part. They're teaching further European psychology. But they did institute a study program and an audio-visual program. They got all these church movies and church this and all that. So they left the black revolutionary part out. Thirdly, a special cadre of community organizers and community experts are trained to teach and to mobilize black community behind specific aspects of the liberation struggle. They instituted them too, but they don't mobilize behind black liberation struggle. They mobilize behind any donor who's willing to give them money to help their church. But they did organize these cadres. In short, the black church will no longer wait for people to come in to worship, but will educate, train, recruit, mobilize, and confront out in the community. So that's what we ask the churches to go do, and we're willing to help them go do it. Educate, train, recruit, and mobilize and confront. That's what King did.
What will they be educating on?
They be educating themselves on the economical principles of the Bible.
Be sponsored because right now the Black Lives Matter movement, everybody's joining up. People coming in here buying dashikis. Everybody's wearing their hair natural. We have to set up a market for that and consume some of those dollars.
Right.
We have to spread, make them feel like this is a location to come and get your black stuff, in a sense.
Right.
We know who we are. It's okay to say black and African American, because eventually they'll learn for what we got going on behind the scenes. But in terms of business, in business, your religion or your preference of thought does not matter. It's set aside. It's business. Respect one another.
Yeah, they go to ethics. And businesses deal with ethics, they don't deal with religion.
Exactly. So you have Jews and Christians doing business all the time. But when it's time to go worship, then that's when we split hairs.
Right.
And that's what we got to do.
If all the churches get together for the benefit of us as the people, we'll change something. So that's what we're looking for. Like I said, we'll help. United Front and the community groups that are engaged in the liberation struggle but do not believe in the institutional church. So they got to get with people who do not believe in the church as well. You got to get all the churches together and unite for the benefit of our people. But then the people who tell the church, I don't like you, don't want to be around you, you still got to help them organize for their interests. That's why we said certain people be a part of special interest groups. The church may, if that interest group is in that church's jurisdiction, then that church is over that interest group, and they gotta respect that interest group because it has an interest for the community.
So it's community development.
Well, as long as you stroke, the so-called, that we can get them together, the so-called pastors, and discuss this business plan to them, and start to move that way.
I'm with that.
I would suggest that for now, set up a meeting, get them here, or we'll come there, whichever one's better, and let us talk to them. Because we have a better approach where it'll make them feel comfortable without pushing Islam.
I believe that I could set that up like right now.
Yeah, well,
I'm with
that's
that
good.
one. Whenever we can
I
have
think I
it,
got a couple more mine myself.
we can definitely do that.
Because I know
That's just it. They got the money. So that's what people going. They looking for the money. They're not looking for the principle. A conscious effort must be made to demonstrate that the black church is the emerging, all-inclusive black nation.
one more.
A conscious effort must be made to demonstrate that the black church is the emerging, all-inclusive black nation.
And that's what we need to prove.
Finally, the black church must call black people to action in terms of common philosophy and a common commitment. So the church has to have a common philosophy of, look, we doing what Jesus is doing. Turning over tables. That's the whole thing we coming with. We coming with Jesus turning over the table of the money lender.
Now, right? Now, go take your mind downtown. What's downtown that's big and high? Big corporate buildings, right? Skyscrapers. That's a call to business. Business is the world religion. So our common point is business, period.
Yep.
Only speak business. Know nothing about Jesus and nothing else.
No,
We
nothing
could call
about
it
religion.
a black church. We could call it that. Because the church is just a body of people.
Oxymoron of black nationalism.
Right.
It blew my mind when I heard it. I'm like, wow, that's some Garvey stuff.
It's
I've never
Garvey.
heard.
That's what he said.
It's garbage.
He combined Garvey and Malcolm X.
It was
And,
brilliant.
and that's how he put this program together, by
Oh,
combining Garvey and Malcolm X.
he went beyond. He combined more science without calling
Oh,
it
yeah,
that.
he don't. Well, they don't know that. They don't know what it is. That's why. Look at what he
Oh.
said. He said, "The building the nation."
There,
It covers everybody.
the brilliance.
The new church will be an action-oriented institution to which people can come for education and inspiration, in order that they may go back into the black community and deal with the black people, which are in terms of everyday problems. He said it will be an action. We have acts, not articles, not statutes. We have acts. So this is an action-oriented organization. Black people everywhere must attack the institutional power structure by which we are oppressed. Political, social, industrial, educational, commercial, judicial, religious. We must attack those institutions which we are oppressed by. Black people must attack the single structure wherever they are. We must build black counter-institutions as a basis for black unity and power. Counter-institutions. So these are the counter-institutions. But these counter-institutions, which are like our religious demonstration, can actually issue out counter-documents. And counter-documents shows your own paper trail. We must decide the points of enemy weakness at which united attacks will be most effective. So, these fields of industry are points of attack. You gotta look at this the way it's supposed to be. This is war. These are points of attack. These are points of attack. These are systems of attack on us. But we can reverse the system of attack.
Islam.
That's just what we have to do.
For us, by us.
For us, by us. These carefully selected,
Excuse me.
constantly shifting points of confrontation, so they constantly shifting. We might attack them from the senator, the Congress, assemblyman. We might attack them from the a labor walkout. That's an attack, right?
Yep.
You understand? So these are different attacks. And so you have to understand, like literally, these carefully selected, consistently shifting points of confrontation and conflict must have the support of black people everywhere. So if we boycott, we need the support of everybody. You know, we said we're not buying something, we're not going to something, then we need to support everybody. That's what people say, we battling against the Catholic Church. Well, when the Pope say you can't read a book, it's on the ban list. If other Catholics see you reading that book, you can't come to communion. But we don't understand, oh, Grand, she can't tell me that. Then you will never be respected like a Catholic. And that's what we don't get. Or that we looking for in the world, should I say. These carefully, let me see. Having selected a target, black people must make available whatever resources are required without diminishing aggression, confrontation on all other fronts. So, we need to put all our resources towards our confrontation. We too busy saying, well, I gotta look this way, I gotta go here, I gotta do this for me, and then it's like I said, we keep getting attacked, and then when we get attacked, we come back trying to find help. You understand? Like, we come back to the community trying to find help, but it's all about me. So, this don't work. I think I got somebody in the story. Eternally and all this other stuff. And if you don't know theology, you don't know that the eternal fire is something that we burn. It's something that we started. It's concepts that we have. And we made them up, but they didn't demonize the concept and made us the demons to go in the fire. Yeah, heavens. That's the heavens. Now, the Europeans teach their children that that's the heavens. The clouds, you know, or smoke and mirrors, however you want to call it.
All
But,
dogs go to heaven.
yeah, all that stuff, crazy. Israel did not enter the promised land without the development of a liberation program. Think about that.
Yes.
Israel did not enter the promised land without the development of a liberation program. They took 40 years to find out what their liberation program would be. They had to wander.
They still wander.
No, they ain't wandering no more. They got a land. They took it from the people who started to wander. They wandered off following after the gods of Europe. But,
1947.
exactly. At first, Israel failed because of poor organization. We're failing right now because of poor organization, ideological confusion. What's confused? Are we Muslims? Islamism is different from Islam. Are we Muslims? Islamism is different from Islam. Are we Muslim? Islamism is different. You understand what I'm saying? Confusing ideology, inadequate program development. Nobody is talking about developing programs in the Moorish Science Central America anywhere. They just interested in, we Muslims? Are we Muslim? That's their argument. And if I can beat you in arguing, are we Muslim or Muslim, then I'm gonna be the grand sheik. That's just the truth. And it's whack. That's crap. The promised land is a state of being in which people achieve the kind of existence God intended man to have. Alright, so you got these steps to black liberation: to seek integration, to cry out in protest, to strike out in violent rage, to analyze the nature of our oppressor, to develop an educational process, to restructure the black church, and then to confront the enemy. So we developed an educational process. Now we're going to restructure the black church. We got to go back into the church with our turbans and feathers on and turn them into temples. But you got to get trained to do it. Our powerlessness has been perpetuated by our inability to build genuine black institutions and our refusal to accept genuine black leadership. I'm going to read that again because Garvey said the same thing. Our powerlessness has been perpetuated by our inability to build genuine black institutions and refusal to accept genuine black leadership. They will follow Jesse Jackson around the world. They would get Al Sharpton an agent jacket. People say that's a bad thing. No, it's not. If you're an agent, you can't touch it. So anyway, they'll give him the protection of being an agent. And you got all these other people who they'll listen to. You got Moors returning back to the church. Moors run up to him and be like, hey, what happened in Morocco? But when I asked Moors to come here to hear what we were doing, what happened, didn't nobody want to come. Because they don't respect the leadership. But the government do. Yeah. So you have to sit back and think, okay, well, these Moors say they want to be recognized by the government. Actually, they say you recognized by the government. I got recognized by the government, but you don't want to recognize me, so the government don't recognize you. Oh. Okay. So I don't want to recognize you either. Honestly, that's really the situation. And so, there you
Say
go.
that louder. I gotta hear that again.
The Bible says that Jesus said, if you will be ashamed to own me before men, then I'll be ashamed to own you before God.
That's it.
So it was the same concept. You're going to be
Exactly.
ashamed to own me, but then you want the government to.
Right. It's unreal.
I'm talking about the betrayal part.
But they gonna keep doing that.
When
But
they were
betrayed the
given
prophet.
marching orders, that's why you can't let the fox back in the hen house. You can come back as a contractor.
We conditioned to support the mechanics of our own enslavement. We are being systematically miseducated by the white man's educational system and miscommunication media, or mass communication media. So we know this is going on with us. We use the three processes by which the individual is able to submerge his individualism and become a part of the black nation. This is the three-part. The individual is transformed through a rational group experience in which he must face reality as mirrored in group confrontation, criticism, and love. That's where the conflict gonna come in. A lot of us can't sit and be judged. Not judge according to our emotions, judge according to the facts. The hot seat. And in order for them preachers to really do it, in order to really get things going, they're gonna have to be willing to let other preachers judge what they're doing. And that's gonna be hard for them. But it's gonna have to happen. The individual is transformed through the emotional experience of rhythmic religious ceremony deliberately designed to break down the walls of individualism. That's why when you go to church and you get to hearing them songs, I don't care what religion you are, you're going to start singing them songs. You're going to start moving and swaying because it's a communal demonstration, and that's what the purpose is for, is to break. It's religious, it's rhythmic religious ceremony deliberately designed to break down the walls of individualism. That's what it's for. That's why the temple supposed to have some songs and dance and party and festivities instead of just talking. But we got to get more to understand their culture before we can have the songs and dance and festivities, because you might come in there and doing some dances that we don't want to do. Some songs we don't want to hear, and your actions and your food is just not edible.
Yes.
So we got to make sure you know the culture. The individual is transformed by the sudden Pentecostal experience, which occurs unexpectedly after the walls of individualism has been eroded quickly through sustained, deeply emotional group experience over an extended period of time. So you come, all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, you be hard up, you don't want to dance, you don't want to sing, you don't like the preacher. You come another time, start listening to the preacher, another time you start humming, next time you start singing, about the 8th time you get up and get the Holy Ghost. Where in the heck that come from? You was a Muslim. No, I am not playing. So it's the spirit that took over you through this experience. We got to provide that experience in here to where it takes over the people. So when they come into an event, it's just like Johnson Hill. Johnson Hill joined, and he's been looking for that same concept ever since, because he joined at the Prophet Noble Jew Ali's festival. So it's like a smoke and crack. He's chasing that first high. Wow. That man was chasing that first high. He'd never get that first high again because he came in at a festival. So we need to provide the festivities. Not that we came in at the festival. We was over on 54th. We continue to provide the festivities that, you know, the people are looking for. Yeah, then it'll catch them in that spirit. They get into the culture. We moving. Can you see? And materialism. Because there are 3 phases in our training program: creating the motivation to change, unlearning the old, and learning the new. We place great emphasis on our School of Black Studies, Akibalon Academy. Now, he called Akibalon. We ain't gonna get into the name. Marcus Garvey called his the African School of Philosophy. Same thing. Noble Jew Ali called his More Science Simple America is his school. That's just what it is. Which replaces the traditional church school and works with elementary and junior high students and young people. And we can start with 5-year-old children. It doesn't take so long to untrain. High school and college age young people who come into our student groups are partially motivated to change by general alienation from both white society and their parents. That's why we go out to the college students. Everyone who joins the nationalist movement must go through a 12-month training program before formal initiation to full membership. 2 additional years of advanced leadership training are recommended. When an individual walks down front and says, I want to join the Black Nation, see, when you walk down front and say, I want to join the Black Nation, not join the church, not join the Moorish Temple America, not join the movement, I want to join the nation, not the Nation of Islam, the Black Nation. You want to say African American Nation, African Nation in America, I don't care. We say Moorish American. That's the title we put on it because we know our name. They want to say what they want to say, let them say it. It don't matter. We just got to get our people united. Because all the going through the semantics of the name, they'll never get it. Right. They just won't get it. When the individual, in accepting him, we agree to assist him in, well, no, I got to say the whole thing. When the individual walks down in front and says, I want to join the Black Nation, he publicly admits that he desires to be changed. When you come in, you say that you want to be changed. In accepting him, we agree to assist in his transformation. So anybody coming here, say they want to proclaim nationality, whoever they stand in front of, not just the person who read the card, but whoever witnessed that, it's our responsibility as a community to see to it that them people learn nationality and their divine creed. The total nationalist program is founded upon training. This is our basic contribution to the black struggle. Training. So the prophet put together a book of what? Instruction. Training, which was his basic contribution to the so-called black struggle. It was his basic contribution to jihad. It was his instruction, Islam. So Kwanzaa did that to make it 7. Karanga did that to make it 7 because he just wanted to jock the 7 because he couldn't be a Moorish American. I'm telling this on camera, I don't care no more. Anyway, the Kwanzaa part at the beginning, you got the Kuwa, and one is the acceptance of the creed. covenant, pledge, and loyalty. Baptism. So when you come into the beginning, you accept in the creed, the covenant. So you know we got a covenant. We know we got a creed. Constitution is our creed. Covenant. We got the pledge of loyalty, nationality card. That's why we ask people to learn the basics. And this is baptism into the nation. And we can baptize you with words. You can baptize you with water. You baptize yourself when you go and study, and you put the essence in yourself. That's the whole thing. The basic orientation, which is called G training. Yes, when your children come home, your mama want to be a G. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you say she?
I said G training.
G training.
Like gangsters, no. But no, that's what he called it though. It's called G training. I tripped off of it. And it's a 3-month program. It's basic group dynamics. First level, you got theology, philosophy, offering each class for like $150. And then they produce ministers of Scientology and send them around the world, and then they start up new orgs and new what they call community center. Assignment. So after you finish the course, you get an assignment and program responsibilities. Then you get your advanced training required for the Shrine Officers and Ministerial Training. So they got ministers here, and it's called the Shrine of the Black Madonna. So like I was telling them on Friday, where's it at? The sister gets up. She does get up. She wakes up. She stands up. She does some other stuff. They do some stuff together, and she get pregnant. And it's called the Shrine of the Black Madonna. When that's why you see the Africans, after Drew Ali came in, they start pushing the Black Madonna, saying that the sister got the baby. So sisters have babies and produce the little babies that gonna work this program. That's all. The Shrine of the Black Madonna. We don't think that we birthing little gods. We're not taught that we birthing little gods. In fact, we taught we birthing little niggas, little demons. And so when we think that way, it's like we put a limitation on our babies, right? Then we say we're trying to compete with the Mexicans. The Mexicans don't put a limitation on their children for no reason at all whatsoever, because they understand the more children they have, the more they can control the politics. They control the politics, they control society, which determine what the industries are going to produce, because they're the ones who are going to consume the industries. And the educational structure teaches people what industries to work in. Stuff is not complicated. Your judicial protects the industries and the politicians and all of going. So this is a cycle. We're not understanding that we are jacking up our birth rate. We're still bigger than the Europeans, but the Latinos have totally taken us out of the box. How? In 50 years did they do that? Because while we was chasing a career, they was chasing numbers. They're chasing numbers. And they got it. And so, you got to change up some stuff. We got to change up some stuff. Members who complete the basic 12-month training program, those who cannot participate fully, training program are initiated into a full membership without solemn ceremonial concept. Those who cannot participate fully because of age, health, hours, employment, or out-of-town residents may be designated either contributing or associated members. So you have participating members with the vote. You don't participate, like all necessities, Act 7. You don't have no say so. If you just contribute money, that's cool. But if you don't participate, you don't have no say so. If you just want to come in here and talk and we associate with you, you're an associate member, that's all you are, an associate member. Now, probably say he's here to issue out degrees. That's what the charters say. So an associate member is an associate degree. But what can you do with that as opposed to a participating member, which is more like a master's degree? Masters associate with masters. And it's just a different network. So we have a classification of membership. And you have to know what place you fit in and what the people around you fit in so you can know how to treat them and not, like, get mad at them and want to beat them up and stuff. In a local... What y'all laughing at? In a local shrine action, groups have 7 important functions which determine their agenda and program. To perform assigned tasks and to support the Black Christian Nationalist program. son in
We would remain tax exempt,
Well, considering there are, a lot of them would be 501.
but, yeah, but that's according to your own personal administration.
Yeah.
When it comes to the business, it's gonna generate tax revenue.
And trade post
Right.
position, which I do understand.
Now, the Moorish Symbol of America is a religious society. It's not taxed. But the mortgage industry and trade post
Can be
is
taxed.
taxed. Right.
Any taxes for all the write-offs that
Right.
you'll have.
You can very much minimize it to zeroing it out.
Yes.
Islam. Brilliant.
Expected to pursue advanced leadership training and accept program responsibility under supervision. We could help support and strengthen each other if we live together. We are moving in that direction, and our annual Camp Karamu is the first step. As soon as possible, we must operate our own year-round camp and housing communities. It is demoralizing to be forced to leave the black nation, scatter in all directions, and mix with people who are still psychologically sick and confused.
Islam.
So, that goes to the National Park Program, which I'll be talking about with the more than the State Park Program and these different parks that we can go and have these different festivities and have these different campouts. We need to get involved in that. Everybody that has children need to get involved in Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. Not sending your children to the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts little molestation people. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about you be the den mother and den father, and you don't molest no children in the name of Moorish Symbol of America. I'm gonna say it, dang it. Don't get involved in that crap, but teach the children the program of the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts because it's good. It's a good program. But just make sure you don't bring nobody around and mess with no children, man. And if they do, beat them up and publicize it so that they know that we don't get out like that.
The Amakai, I guess is how you pronounce it, through the Zetas, which is sorority. She's heavily involved with that. They do a lot of community service. And of course, the sororities are monstrously huge.
She's sponsoring and stuff, yeah.
So, and they're so Afrocentric these days.
Yep.
That is, and Christian.
Yep.
So the
This program
doctrine
fits.
still, it's perfect. And so, yeah, my family's heavily involved with them.
So let's get
That's how
involved.
we'll win our families over.
Yeah, I was her wedding mascot. You know, and so they, hey, you know, get a chance to see.
But it was an opportunity for those who haven't seen
Yeah,
more.
right. And I was planning on going to Morocco, so they have to reschedule, because I was supposed to be the minister to Mary. But since I was planning on going to Morocco back then, they had rescheduled to it with another minister. And so I just showed up about a week before the wedding, like, y'all coming anyway. Because I wasn't supposed to come, so she said, you just be the mascot, you lead everybody out, and you just, so. But yeah, you just got to expose it to, you got to expose your family. And this right here, it helped my Christian family understand my nationalistic perspective.